Now we're going to the step-by-step Vidhi, which I explain you. It will be in Hindi. Samayik Vidhi, I don't want to spend any time, which everybody should know it, and you can easily learn this one easily. I'm just going to go into the Pratikraman aspect. Expanded Pratikraman Avashyak, daily Devasya Pratikraman, Samvatsari Pratikraman Sutras, daily Devasya Pratikraman part 2. So these are the things what we already discussed it. And here is the wording for that one. So the daily Devasya Pratikraman, which is nothing but the Aloena and Pachakhan, okay, the 6 avashyaks is the things what we do. Basically, we have to take the Pachakhan during the daytime. Samvatsari Pratikraman or any Pratikraman we are doing in the evening. By the time the 6 avashyak sutra comes, it's already dark. So acharyas have decided to do 6 avashyak or a pachakhan first, and then do the rituals at the end, 6 avashyak. And that's why if you notice it, when you start pratikraman, first thing the acharyas will say, take the pachakhan for 6 avashyak one. Okay, and that's why we are doing, like we are breaking the sequence Pachkan first, because most of the time Pratikraman, evening Pratikraman that occurs is just before sunset, we start the Pratikraman. And then we complete the Pratikraman and do the remaining 6 avashyak sutras later. So this is just to not to confuse you, but to clarify you when you look at the rituals, that what you are seeing it. Now, doing Alohen and Apachkan, that is also when you do any tapascharya. The tapascharya, you drink water, or sometimes no, you like if it is a ekashno or something, 1 meal, then you drink the food, or you eat food. So that's why they said, if you have drink water, then you do this additional ritual. And if you have eaten, okay, then you do vandana. So these are the kind of the things when you read the rituals step by step, then you know why certain things you are doing for what purpose. Okay. After you've done that one, now we start the Pratikraman. Okay, that was the formalities, because we are not doing like Choviyar Upvas. If we are doing Choviyar Upvas, you don't need to do any of the above steps. The Chaityavandan, again, this is when you are starting doing the Pratikraman. It is the tradition. We do prayer to Tirthankars. Okay, and the prayer to Tirthankars we have done via Chaityavandan. That is the prayers to Tirthankar. And the Chaityavandan, what you do during temple going, it is different than the Chaityavandan what you do in the Pratikraman. The Pratikraman Chaityavandan is a long Chaityavandan. Oh, it takes 4 thoi. That's a long Chaityavandan. And you can see for Samvatsari Pratikraman, the thoi what we recite in the Chaityavandan, it is a snatasya. It's a very fixed thoi. For Pakhi, Chaumasi, and Samvatsari Pratikraman, you recite the snatasya sutra. Okay, first thoi, second, it has a 4 thois in the second Chaityavandan Sutra. The first thoi is always for the specific Tirthankar. The second thoi is for the 24 Tirthankars together. The third thoi dedicated to Gnan, knowledge. Okay. And that is the Jainism is nothing but the Gnan Marg religion. The religion says that you can attain your liberation via Gnan, realization. Okay. And that's why the first one is the specific Tirthankar, the second Thoy is 24 Tirthankars, and the third Thoy is for the Gnan. And the fourth Thoy dedicated to Dev Devi for protection. Now, I wanted to tell you something. There are certain groups in the Jain community. They don't accept the protection of Dev Devis. They don't accept that concept that we don't need Dev Devi protection, because with the help of protection we can never attain liberation. We cannot progress. If you have protection, somebody needs to protect you. And there is a classical story in the Mahavir's life. Mahavir Bhagavan self-initiated. Okay, he did not take a diksha under guru or under anybody in the sense. No, he is the self-initiated. And on the day of diksha, Lord Indra from heavenly gods came with other gods, and he requested Bhagavan Mahavir that your sadhana kal, the time of the sadhana, it is about 12 and a half years. And you are going to get many upsarga and parishaha. Upsarga means human-made problems, and parishaha is natural calamity, here done by the human. And you can do your sadhana properly. Let me come and protect you from all these parishaha and upsargas disturbances. And Bhagavan Mahavir clearly answers, for my safety, I have to do it myself. I cannot attain liberation if you help me in this kind of the upsarga and parishaha situation. I have to do it myself, and I have to conquer these things myself. And Bhagavan Mahavir said, Indra, please don't do that. Okay. And that is what happened in Jainism. I mean, that's a true Jain principles. If you are doing it, the religion, or asking help somebody because you are fearful, okay, then you cannot attain and progress spiritually under the fearful situation. Okay, that's why there are certain groups don't accept the Dev Devis in Jainism, while others says no, we are weak, we are not in the fourth ara where Bhagavan Mahavir was there. So for even though we may not attain the Keval Gnan, but at least for our sadhana, we need some protection, and they accept the Dev Devis is as a protector providing. All right, and that's what we pray in the Pratikraman, also Dev Devis. Okay, so this is just keep certain things in the mind, and I'm giving you a brief overview of the Dev Devi concept. It is not across all Jains, but significant percentage of the people do believe into Dev Devis, and you can see now in most of the Jain temples in United States or Canada, they have Dev Devi's murti, established in the temple. All right. Old time, the Dev Devi's Murti, which is for the protection, they were at the outside the main entrance. Okay. In the beginning, it happened that way, but slowly, because of the space restrictions and all other things, it came out within the temple now. And things are changing, we are making changing without really understanding it. And we are asking the Maharaj Sahib, but okay, we have so much restriction in so much space, we got to put this many things. So naturally, what even though Maharaj Sahib know all these things, but they just wave the things. I said, at least you are doing something. No, so okay, they generally agree with you. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say. But you got to understand it. This is what is being happening. Okay, and then we do the fourth voice Chaitavandan, like we explained you before. The first Natasya, and this is the second stuti. Then Siddhanam Buddhanam things. The third thought, and the fourth one. So, which is already explained in Hindi here, just in with respect to saving the time. I'm going to continue because we want to give enough time for you to ask the questions and answer it. Okay. So let me go further now. Then Panch Parmeshti Namaskar. This is the Vidhi in Hindi things what you are saying. And then the Pratikraman Sthapna Sutra comes. After that, this is all formalities which we did. But here the Pratikraman Sthapna Sutra comes. That's where the real Pratikraman begins. Because that's what you are doing via Pratikraman Sthapna Sutra. But before this is like no preparation. Okay. And that preparation is completed that way. Now, when the Pratikraman Sthapana, so now the Pratikraman begins. This is the fourth Pratikraman Avashyak begins from this sutra, okay, which is the Pratikraman Sthapana Sutra. And after that Pratikraman Sthapana Sutra, all the sutras, this one recite like Karemi Bante, Ichhami Thami, Tasautri, Annatta, okay, all these sutras what you are reciting here, okay, that is the first Avashyak Samaik sutras. Within the Pratikraman, we have included this sutra so that all 6 Avashyaks are done in the Pratikraman, even though Pratikraman is the first Avashyak only, okay. So that one is done, and then these sutras, we request the forgiveness for any error in our 5 achars, which is the Gnanachar, Darshanachar, Charitrachar, Tapachar, and Vidyachar. Okay, all an ethical code of conducts. So these 5 ethical code of conducts are this one: Gnanachar, faith is Darshanachar, right conduct is Charitrachar, finance, and right spiritual strength, which is Viryachar. So after this sutra is done, then first Avashyak is completed. Now we recite the Logos Sutra. Logos Sutra is nothing but the prayers of 24 Tirthankars. So when we complete that Logos Sutra in this sequence, I'm trying to tell you, that way we completed the second Avashyak, which is very small, just one sutra, and we are completing for first Samaik, we did this many sutras. For second Avashyak, we did only the Logos at that point, okay. Then the third Avashyak is Vadana. At that time, we use Tisre Avashyak ki Mohapatti Palijan, and Vandana. Both are the things we do. And when we do this one, the third avashyak is also completed. The fourth avashyak, which is the main theme of the Pratikraman, okay, that's a very long avashyak. Okay. In this group, 7 lakh, 18 papastanak, all these sutra and Vanditu sutras are recited. 7 lakh, I think the sutra itself will tell you, okay, how many living beings, different types of the categories of the living beings. If I have hurt any of those one, okay, I ask for forgiveness. Then Adhar Papasthanaks, you know all these paps or sin. And then the Vanditu Sutra is the Atichar of Sravak Sutra. That is the another name for Vanditu Sutra. Vanditu Sutra is nothing but Atichar, list of violation for Shravak, Anuvrat. Shravaks, Anuvrat, the list of violations are included in Vanditu Sutra. So you must really understand this sutra. This is our violations, the list of this violation. Do you know what is the ahimsa anuvrat? How do they define ahimsa anuvrat? Which is for us, Shravak and Shravikas follow, practice ahimsa anuvrat. It's a very simple definition. And simple definition is any trust Jew, means movable living beings. Any trust Jew, because Ekindriya, hinsa of Ekindriya soul, as a Shravak, we are always involved, day to day. Without that, we cannot cook the food, we cannot eat the foods, okay? We have to drink the water, we have to breathe the air. So everything is one sense living being, and whatever we are using, we are killing. There is absolutely no other way, okay? So one sense soul, Bhagwan Mahavir did not give us any permit that don't kill one's sons. It's only they have done to, he has done to monks and nuns. That you take a full Mahavrat, which includes the one sense. So monk cannot even do cooking the food like what Hindu monks do. They cook their own, okay? Jain monks no. Jain nuns no. All right. That's the very key difference, that even what we cannot do for monk, we do for ourselves. Food. And when sadhu comes, or sadhu or sadhus come, we give small portion of whatever we have cooked for us. And they say you should do only that quantity where you don't have to cook the food. Very minute way of practicing the ahimsa. When sadhu, we provide the food to sadhu. We provide only such quantity that we don't have to recook. Okay? And sadhu can go several homes and feed themselves that way without adding any additional sins. That is the whole intent of this Jain ahimsa. All right? And the ahimsa definition is for Shravak is applies to only movable living beings. Means 2 cents to 5 cents. 2 cents to 5 cents living beings. We cannot hurt them. We cannot use them. Because we can live our life with 1 cent living being healthily. We can live our life healthily. That's why we are vegetarian. That's a simple word. Why we are vegetarian? it carries the minimum sin. One sense living being, if you heard, generally they born and die. One sense living being, like in one samay, they said 17 and a half times. So the point what things, whatever you needed, you use it. Don't waste it. If you waste any food, then you are acquiring bad karma, even though it is a one sense living being. But if you are wasting the food because you have killed them, not your survival, because you should not eat or you should not cook food more than what you need. And only that after you feed the families and everything should be clean. Okay? There is no food should be wasted. If extra foods, what you do, which you throw away in the garbage or anything, that is the sinful act, because you kill them extra, which is not needed. So I hope, no, you get my point, no, in this manner, that even though we, in our vows, there is no one sense living being included in it, but Bhagwan Mahavir's complete message is, don't waste it. You can use it up to whatever is your need. And in that need, because it is for your survival, it was not your intention to kill. Your intention was for your survival. Without that, you cannot survive. You have to breathe. No, you breathe every moment or every minute or two. Okay, that's the survival. And if you're not survival, so this is like needed. Similarly, any fruits and vegetables and all other things, grains in bins and everything, you make sure you use it properly. Okay, and there is no waste. That's it. Now you come to, I think, Samvatsari Pratikraman, and what we did. Let me just little bit speed up. That Samvatsari Aloyana, and these are the sutras which are Samvatsari Aloyana, Samvatsari Atichar. This is the sutras, what you see it. And the Samvatsari Atichar, monks and Shravaks, they do together. Certain Atichars applicable to monks only. They recite themselves, and we just listen as a Shravak when we are there. The other Atichars are only for Shravaks, which I have listed it here in English. And these things are, you will know it. Okay, whenever you do, okay, these are the sadhus, these are the Shravaks. And there are certain common atichar for both that apply to both Shravaks and sadhu. That's what sadhu recites in the beginning. All right. So then you see the Samvatsari Tap. The Samvatsari Tap is Attham Tap in Samvatsari in Paryusha. It is recommended that you have to do 3 upvas, Attham Tap, generally the last 3 days of the Paryushan Parva. If you cannot do 3 upvas, then you do one at a time in these 8 days. At least the 3 times, you do the upvas. If you cannot do that one, then you do 6 amil, but then, okay. And if you cannot do amil, some people may not like to eat, the food of the amil. Then you do Nam Nevi, Bhara Ekasna, Chovis Biasna, anything. It is not all you have to do. It's just one of the item. Okay, you pick based on your capacity, based on your body capacity. This is you. If you cannot do tapascharya, then you can do 6,000 sajjai. 6,000 sajjai means gatha part. You recite 6,000 sutras. okay, for some time. Or you can do 60 Naukarwali, all right. All these things is there, and you at least they will give you some things that you have equivalent tap, you have done it and you have completed the Samvatsari tap. Okay, so you can read this one. If you have any question, let me know. And after that, Michami Dukanam to Sakal Sangh. And after we perform this ritual, we started telling everybody Michami Dukanam. Okay. And we started writing the cards to everybody or call everybody and do it. Nowadays, it is all calling the people or, you know. Then Samvatsari Sutra by monk. This is the one where Samvatsari Sutra of monks, we just have to listen if the monks are there. If the monks are not there, like in America, then we recite the Vanditu Sutra because we don't know the Samvatsari Sutra. It's a monk sutra and monks are not here. So we recited the Vanditu Sutra again. Okay. Then there is a third one comes Vanditu Sutra. This is where all the confusion occurs. But what we did here, when we did the Pratikraman with sadhus, okay, as long as sadhus were there, everything was fine because they are doing their sutra, we are listening. That's it. We are not involved into it. And now they are not there. And this one was not there originally. It is when the sadhus joined with us, that's the time they added all these things. Now sadhus are not here and they are not going to be here at all. But there is another tradition comes that once you added, you cannot remove it. Okay, this is the Jain traditions that you can add the things in Pratikraman, but once it is added and accepted, now you cannot change that. Okay, you can add new things, but you cannot remove the existing one. That's another tradition, what we have. And that's why even though we don't have monks here, but our Pratikraman still takes about the same time what is being happening in India because of that rules, that traditions, okay? And then we got these 40 Logas Kausak, okay? And I gave you here a little bit a summary of why 40 Logas and what is happening. Kausak in Jainism is done based on Sampada. Sampada is nothing but the Purna Viram. Like you breathe, you take inhale, all right? Now, this Logasa Kausak, you don't complete all seven stanzas. Seven stanza and each stanza is 4 sentences. So it's total 28, 28 total lines, okay, in the Logas. But we are doing only Chandesu Nimalaira, which is the 25th line. Okay, you don't complete all 40 logos completely. You do only 25 lines, and the last 3 lines is not part of the Kausal at all. So these 25 lines consist of 25 Sampada. And when you do 40 times 25 Sampada, okay, that is that makes it 1,000. And after 40 logas, if you hear it properly, you have to do one naukar. And naukar has 9 sentences, but the sampada is only 8. The first 7 lines have each one has one sampada, means you namo arihantana. So you take a break there. You breathe again. Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayaryanam. Okay, which is a each sentence is a sampada, but the last two lines, okay, Namo Vajjayanam, Namo Loe Savasahunam, Iso Panchar Namukaro, Sava Papa Panasano, Mangalanancha Savising, Padamam Havai Mangalam. That is the one, both lines go together. There is only one sampada, even though there are 8 and 9 lines, 9 pad, 8 and 9 line has only one sampada. That's why Navkar mantra is a 8 sampada, even 9 lines. Okay. So that is the one, it is a 1008 sampada kausag. 40 logas plus one Navkar mantra makes it 1008 sampada kausag. Because that's the time you have to, that many breathing, you have to do it with that kausag. That kausag was not on a time limited, only half an hour kausag or 1 hour kausag or nothing like that. Okay, is once 1008 sampada is over, your kausag is done. For Chaumasi, it is 25. It is 500 sampada kausag, which is 20 logas twice 25 will 501. And Pakhi one is a 12 logas. In Pakhi is the 12 logas, which is 25 times 300 sampada. So you can say Pakhi Pratikraman is a 300 sampada kausag. Chaumasi Pratikraman is 500 and Samvatsari Pratikraman 1008. Okay. Now the monk Samvatsari Kamana, you can see our involvement is very minimum here. And then you come and complete the Devsi Pratikraman, the part 2 portion of it. So we left from Vanditu Sutra, we come back and pick it up, and remaining sutras we complete there. And after that, you come, this is the 4th avashyak is done here. Up to this sutra, you completed 2 Vandana Dekar Hajjod Ko Airyu Jai Sutra Ke. That completes the 4th avashyak. Now the 5th avashyak Kausag begins. And that one you can see there is a kausag for Arihants. That's the kausag for sadhu sadhvis and all other one. Kausag for Gnan. You can just read it, everything. So yeah, because of, I think I'm running out of the time. I wanted to give some time, at least 10-15 minutes to the sutras. Okay. And then there is a kausag for Dev Devi's protector god. Okay. In the name of the protector god, we discuss it, that one there. So once you completed all these vidhis, okay, that means the 5th avashyak is done. Okay. And the 6th avashyak, which we already taken the Pachkhan earlier, but we recite the 6th avashyak sutra here, and then we announce it that, okay, we have completed Samayik, Chavisatto, Vandana, Pratikraman, Kausag, Pachkhan kiya hai. So we have completed all this one. This completes the Samvatsari Pratikraman. Now we are doing the spiritual celebration. And spiritual celebration sutras, of course, any time you look at the Panch Pratikraman book, they don't define here is the 4th avashyak, here is the 5th avashyak starts. This is the 5th avashyak ends here, and 6th avashyak starts, and that kind of the thing. So people have very little knowledge what are the sutra means and what is being happening in it. I put significant time to understand this one, and then what I'm trying to do is explain you everybody that way. Now, So if you read this Vidhi, you will know what is being happening here. The Stavan is the Ajit Santi type things, and Panch Parmeshti Namaskar, all these things, that is the celebration of completion of the Pratikraman. And you got the Sajjai Sansar Davas, okay, it's a Sajjai in that sense, okay. So that's I would like to do. This is complete, and then the Muti Santi, Brahat Santi, okay, and Santikaram. All these sutras are for the celebration of, okay, and the praying Tirthankar Chaitamandan and concluding part Samai. So Sejal, I think